Welcome to Play With It with Cass Allen. We're still talking about dating this week. We've been talking about differences and how they matter. We talked about living in the closet. We talked about living out loud. Today, we're talking about dating across different races. As always, we define the context of things to make sure we're all on the same page. And by race, I mean division based on human traits and shared ancestry. It's just that simple. Um, Different races, Africans, Europeans, Americans, Asians. That's what we're talking about here. It's pretty simple. There's a time where people couldn't date across race without it being against the law. People were penalized up to death, exile, hurt physically, all kinds of things, and it still takes place. You know, I dated across races before. I've dated Europeans, I've dated Americans, and I've dated Africans. I haven't dated any Asians that I recall. Unless somebody lied and I didn't notice. Or somebody had traits and didn't know it. Had melanin for sure. Um, There was a time when, and there still are times where I stereotype across the races. I think there's certain things I wouldn't do, or as we all do, things you think, take place, whether they're positive or negative. Oh, those people this, those people that, we do it. Dating someone of a different race, be prepared for some of the challenges that can come up. Sometimes you're dating someone of a different race and don't even know it because you both have mastered one race and the one that you're sharing. I've dated people that surprised me without going into the details of my life. Uh, Depending on where you live, this could be an issue. There are things to consider. Do I live in a neighborhood that's racist? Can I bring my mate into this neighborhood? Does my mate live in such a neighborhood? Are we comfortable walking through our neighborhoods to get to each other's neighborhoods? Are we comfortable displaying affection? Do we want to be in the closet? That's where those things start mattering. When differences start mattering, do they matter? And even if they don't matter to you, do your differences matter to your peers? Do they matter to your family? Do they matter to your friends? Do they matter on your job? Do you work somewhere that's all Caucasian and can your black lover come and pick you up? Does that matter? Do you look around and realize all of your friends are of the same race? Is it okay to bring your mate? Are they open, or do they say they're open, or do they just want to fuck people in another race but don't want to have a relationship? Like we say, there are people you can fuck but you can't bring them home. You know, are you in a situation like that? There's so many things that, we think don't matter until we start getting into things long term. How is my family going to feel about this? Is my mother okay with this? Am I going to hear her mouth? Who matters more to me? My ancestors or my mate? Is there room for both of them? You know, this is where other discussions we've had become relevant. Is this long term or short term? Short term, maybe I can get away with this. But if I want a long-term relationship, my family is not going to support this. But maybe they're okay with you dating outside of your race as long as you don't try to marry the person. These are the things you have to take into consideration if you're willing to date interracially. Can we withstand the pain of society against us? Or do you live in an environment where everyone supports you? If you live in an environment where everybody supports you, what happens when you go outside of that bubble into the real world? Are you going to be able to go on vacations together? What type of places would you like to visit? Are you going to be able to go together without being oppressed? Will you make it back to your own country if you decide you want to take an international trip? Does your relationship go against the morals of the place that you're visiting? You know, there's so many things to take into consideration when you're dating outside of your race, depending on the race you're dating. Are you even able to date this person and have support from anywhere? Is the dating worth the oppression? If all of my family, all of my friends are going to be against me, if I can't take you to my job, if I can't take you out for dinner without looking, if I can't take you anywhere without people looking at us, is our love that strong that we're willing to have a relationship in the house? Or we're willing to go outside and fight all of this oppression? You know, these are the choices that you have to consider because chemistry is a motherfucker. Chemistry doesn't care about race. Chemistry doesn't care about religion. Chemistry doesn't care about classism. When you're out and you're somewhere and somebody moves you, they move you. It's just that simple. Whatever the reason, whether it's the sway in their walk, look in their eyes, the smell of their perfume, whatever it is that pulls you, the smell of the cologne, whatever, the way they walk from behind, the way they speak. You don't know these things yet. I don't know where you're from. If you're not speaking, you're my complexion, you standing in the street, you could be from any fucking where in this world. Could be Chinese. I don't know. Because we come from everywhere. So is this a question that you want to ask while you're out dating? Or you want to assume that because the person that's sitting in front of you is near your complexion and speaks English, that you're both Americans? Is this what you want to do? Is this a chance you want to take in a world where people speak multiple languages fluently? I've learned to ask the question. I've dated plenty of women that look like me. I've dated women darker than me that were not born here, but they speak perfect English. And if they hadn't told me, I wouldn't know unless I was around them and usually their parents, you know, because the parents usually come with the heritage, the native tongue, and they bring them here, you know, from my generation. So now it's time to find out where's your family from? I dated a girl darker than me. I said, "Where are you from?" She said, "Panama." And in the perfect fucking English, me, the perfect English. I had no idea. I thought she just a black ass like me. She said, "I just can't speak Spanish." I met her family. I was inclined to believe, looking at them, the eyes were light, you know, those things, and the dark skin that you find in some of those countries, you know, where people don't speak your language as a native. Bottom line, you know. Another woman I dated, a little lighter than me, not from here, spoke fluent Spanish. Always got people in trouble around her. They assumed she was black because she was with my black ass, but she wasn't. And relative to her nativity, she wasn't American. That's what I really should be saying. She was not, and she spoke fluent Spanish. So, you know, race can sometimes, you know, I say these things to say sometimes race doesn't even matter when you're the same complexion. You know, it gets dicey, but it may matter in conversation. You know, everybody's cool with your mate until they find out, you know, and I'm not shaming, I won't even call it, and I don't want to start any trouble, but there are countries out here that have reputations for their people, and we all know this. And I'm talking dark-skinned people now. There are countries out here where you mention them and people are like, oh no, don't date anybody from there, you know. So for people who matters, that conversation is needed. You can't assume that a person is from here. You know, I've dated women that have surprised the hell out of me, and once I found out where they were from, I'm like, oh shit, I'm fucked. You know, things I should have asked in the beginning. Y'all know that's what this show is about. Having conversation, being upfront, getting to the meat of shit. You know, thinking about the things that are important. We know different behaviors are associated with different races. Let's keep this shit real here. You know, we have different cultures all around this world where people practice different faiths. They practice different routines to wake up every day. And some of them are calmer than others. Some of them got a lot of fire. Bottom fucking line. If you know your type of personality, take some of these things into account and find out where people are from. Where's your upbringing? Did your mama beat you every day? That might mean they're going to beat you. You know, there are cultures where these things are okay and they're still okay today. They'll whip your ass right on the spot. You be 60 and they be 61. They fuck you up and think it's okay. You know, get on that date. Ask them, what's your race? What's your mama and daddy's race? Find out both of those too. Because sometimes they're not the same. And you got these kids now being raised. You got these kids being raised with implants from two different races. Those can be a little dangerous because they can flip on you and apply different faiths and beliefs depending on how they feel for the day. So, like, dig into that shit because people are raised by people. Don't forget that people are raised by people. So, you want to know a little bit about where people come from and what type of things they practice, what kind of social behaviors they have. There are races that don't give a shit about shit as a whole. There's some that are more empathetic than others. There's some races that are driven by money. There are races that are driven by work, races driven by military. We see it. We see countries where half the country standing in unison. I don't need to call the names. Ready to fight, ready to fuck everybody up. Just standing there marching all to the same fucking beat. Like we are the country of military. We will fuck you up, you know? So you know there's a certain type of energy in all those people. They are very disciplined and they will kill you without remorse if you go against their ethics. We have countries that are considered love countries, countries where everybody is just swimming in the water and being loving and making love. So you're more inclined to get somebody from there that's gonna have those inclinations. You know, it really does matter where people come from. Because that's where they were raised, how they were brought up. And a lot of times, at least half of what they believe, even when you decide to drop your religion, you know, you drop your beliefs, you still have some of the stuff in you that you're born and inbred with. Your mannerisms, the way you believe about things sometimes, you know, the things we say grandma raised us with. You know, it's still there, regardless of the fact that down your line, the religious beliefs changes, the classism changes to the social status, and shifts in wealth and income and all kinds of shit take place. But there's still things that we hold dear to us based on our race or features or things we're proud of, you know. Like we use those words like, yeah, our people did, you know, that's where that division comes from. But it's division to celebrate unity within division, if you will. You know, find out what people are proud of, you know. It does matter. Do you want to get with someone and all of a sudden you find out that they attend like this event that's national to them, like every week that you had no idea and they're trying to drag you into something you don't even know what's going on because it's relative to their race, you know? Pay attention. Ask, where you from? Where your parents from? What do you know about your genealogy? It's not a hard question. It's not a wrong question. You know, it's okay for us to be different. We don't have a choice. We, I don't understand why people all want to be the same when we all have different fingerprints. It doesn't make fucking sense to me. We have different prints because we're all different. Like, what the fuck is the problem on this planet that people want to fuck each other up because they're different? We all got a different fucking ID. Let it fucking be. Mind your fucking business. I like to say, mind your fucking business. I'll say it again. Why can't you just mind your fucking business? And somebody's different from you, let them be different. You different too. They're not acting like you, so obviously you different too. Ain't nobody trying to fuck you up. Why you can't just mind your fucking business? Why we just can't all live and let live? So what? Two people of the same fucking race are dating. That's how we gonna wrap this up. Who the fuck cares? So the fuck what? What could you possibly be mad about? I never understand that. I always say the people don't want you and you don't want them. So why the fuck are you mad about what they're doing if nobody's bothering you? The fuck? So what? Vanilla want to date chocolate and make fucking with the fucking caramel. What the fuck do you care for? Why do you care? What does it matter to you? Two people fucked and brought you here. If you want more people here, fuck somebody and make some of what you want here. If you want more white people, go fuck a white person if you're white. Leave people the fuck alone. Let them date whoever the fuck they want to date. If two people as dark as a black pan want to date, let them date. Let them make another dark baby. Why does it matter to you? If somebody is dark as what they say 11:59 wants to date somebody who looks like 6 a.m., let them date. Let them make a 3 p.m. baby. Who the fuck cares? Now, if you dating and it matters to you and you don't want to date outside of your race, do your thing. There's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with making more of your own race. Nobody wants to become extinct. Nobody. Why would you want to? We're all beautiful. I enjoy my journey and experience in my race, but whatever it means, Like I said, I'm not going to digress and get into all that coming back here again. People be talking about reincarnation, and my question is, do you think you come back the same every time? Do you think you come back black every time? Do you think you come back white every time? Do you think you come back male every time or female? And if you don't, your spirit then no longer should be genderized. You know, your spirit shouldn't be identified with permanence if you're always going to evolve and come back. So that's something, you can layer in the sue when you're dating. Like, what does race really mean? What does it really mean? Is this a temporary existence? Am I going to come back next time as a white woman? The next time an Indian man? The next time an Asian woman? Like, what is it really all about if I'm coming back? Am I coming back? You willing to befuddle your mind like that and play the mind fuck with me? We can. But bottom line is, what is race? What is race? What does it mean to you? This is not a question for me. This is a question for you. Like, what is race? What does it mean to you to be divided based on human traits and divided based on the two beings that created you, the male and the female birth you? What does it mean for you to identify in that sector of all of the intersections that we discuss? Is it important to you to date people who only look like you? Is it important to you to only date people within certain categories? How many categories are you going to break this down to? Am I only going to date brown people? Or I can date any spectrum of my race, because a race has every color. So what does race really mean to you? Are you talking about white and black, or are you talking about Asian, European, American, as I was going into, and so forth and so on? That's something to talk about on your date. Okay, my date is black as me, but where are you from? This person could be as black as you and have nothing in common with you. Have a totally different experience from you. You can have two people who look just like me. One's raised by blacks, one's raised by whites. Add a third person raised by Chinese. Make anybody up. I don't care. The bottom line is, what does race really mean to you? Is it about the race of the person standing in front of you, or the two races who created that person? Or are we just putting a lot of attention on it? Unnecessarily. What is it really about? And that's how we're going to close this, like I said, by asking you the question: what does that difference really matter to you? And what are you willing to do to tear down the walls to racism when it comes to dating? This has been Cass Allen on Play With It. Have a good day and have a good night.